Let's talk.
Giles Brown.
You've got this, which is basically something that I say most mornings, probably after the third coffee. But growing a small business can be tough. Those big, shiny goals can seem miles away, and want a clear strategy how to get there. So, how do we get this? If you want to get this or got this, delighted to say that I'm joined by Rhea Freeman, who's written this book called "You've Got This: How to Supercharge Your Business and Conquer Your Goals." Good morning to you, Ms. Freeman.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Oh, another day in Spain. It could be worse. It's better than Brixton, as I always say, but there you go. So tell me a little bit about yourself and why you are eminently qualified to write You've Got This.
Well, I work as a business coach and mentor. So I do something with the UK government's Help to Grow scheme. I'm one of their mentors. And I've also got my ILM level 7 in coaching and mentoring, which is equivalent to a master's. I mean, it nearly killed me, but it was good fun.
Right.
I work with a lot of small businesses one-to-one as well. And you kind of get, obviously, when I work with them, we look at how they can grow their business. We look at the goals. We look at what they want to achieve. And also there's a repetition around the blocks that stop people. So I kind of thought, well, isn't there a way that I could use this information and do more research around it? And the more research I did, the more digging I did. Everyone has the same blocks. It's just how we tackle them that gets us closer or further away from that goal and from that success.
So let's start with the basics, because and this has perhaps got even worse or more prevalent, shall we say, during the sort of the Instagram social media era, where everybody's a guru, everybody's a life coach, even if they've just done 5 minutes of a quick course online. Not saying that you are, Rhea, but the thing is, one of the things that people always say, and it's one of the problems with social media, is the fact that it's like, follow your passion. I'm putting on the American accent. Follow your passion, your journey. And I too bought in, X million via my Instagram within 3 days, and that's wonderful. But real life doesn't work like that. And perhaps a lot of people go in thinking, okay, it is my passion for my collection of stuffed dormice from the 14th century. I'm sure that's going to be a huge thing, and that may be your passion. But you've got to have a hard head about, your passion may be your passion, but there is a market out there, and you need to identify that niche.
100%. And I could not agree with you more. When you see these, get this 7-figure business overnight, something in me just goes, ugh, because it's just not true. And what we're seeing is not real life. It's this Instagram versus reality. It's, when you see these people with their beautiful houses, but actually you've got a corner of their house which is gorgeous, and the rest of it is like World War III. I think Instagram does that. So you see someone getting in their lovely car, you don't realize that their car isn't owned by them. But, it's just so wrong because it sets people up for failure. And the book is not like that, because I fundamentally don't believe in that at all. The book is how you work out your goal, how you work out what you really, really want, the steps you take to get there. And there's a lot of stuff like trying and testing. I spoke to Emma Bridgewater, who makes the beautiful crockery. She's got a big factory in Stoke-on-Trent. Stunning lady, amazing lady. And she starts off talking about people have come to her with ideas about, they've got a jam. And she said, well, you're taking the jam to the fairs. You're taking the jam to your local shops, and you're making sure that people actually want to buy it. Because if they don't, you haven't got an idea. So there's a lot about trying and testing your concepts rather than just going, right, screw the job, screw everything else. I'm just going to be brilliant at my 14th century dormice.
Yeah.
It's very logical and it helps people.
And also the thing is, it's that whole, because you are saying that you have to take the leap into the dark. No, you don't. You don't have to take that leap into the dark. You have to put a plan together. It's like, it's all very well having the Insta account, if you like, or whatever, but you've got to take it out and test it and see what people do. And it's all full of people saying, I took that leap of faith. Yeah, that might for 1 in 8 million, but for the rest of them, it's going to be a very hard landing.
Too right. And you don't have to take this leap. You could think about something you really wanted to do, like you wanted to start a new business, and you can start that as a side hustle. You can grow it in the evenings and weekends. And there's a brilliant chap in the book, because in addition to my kind of strategy and knowledge, I've dragged in some amazing people like Theo Paphitis, Simon Alexander Ong, Joe Tutchiner Sharp, amazing people. But Simon Alexander-Ong had a really good point. He used to work in finance, and he saw basically his employer as his backer, which allowed him to upskill and develop the other side of his business. So he wasn't, compromising his life, not being able to pay his mortgage. And I love that. Like, we should embrace the side hustle, because then we can reduce the full-time work we do. We don't have to just go all in to start with. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things that I did back in my youth in the 90s, that dates me, is I went freelance from a writing job, thinking that the offers would fly in, and I ended up eating far too many chocolate hobnobs and got a ridiculous sort of addiction to soap operas during the day, and basically after about sort of 3 months had to go back, tail between the legs, and get a proper job again, because that is the reality. It's interesting. It's a way of perspective as well. So if you are stuck in a job that perhaps you're not enamored with, and yet you want to get that side hustle going, then the thing to do is to look at the main job as the foundation block, and then work on the thing till it gets to a level where you can go, as we say in this country, adios, amigos, and do your side hustle, and your side hustle becomes your main hustle.
Completely. I think that's a brilliant way to do it. It also takes the pressure off. So you get to try, test and learn without this fear that you have to make your mortgage payment or you have to pay to live. I think it's a brilliant way to do it. And there was a survey done at the end of last year with a company called Intuit, and they were saying that 40% of people were looking to start side hustles this year. And I think it's great. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Because even if you think, I don't love my job, it will provide you with something, even if it's just money to live your life. I like the transition idea.
Yeah, Humphrey Bogart used to describe the movies he did as his something you money, and once he got enough something you money, he would go off and sail his yacht to Catalina, and that's kind of. I mean, I love my job, and if anybody's listening, by the way, boss. The other thing, of course, is the grind, as I call it, i.e., you're starting a business, you're getting a blog up, you're getting a website up, you're doing something up, and again, we are conditioned to think that this will happen overnight, and it's not. It's, as the saying goes, it takes, 10 years to become an overnight success. So you have to be prepared. And this is where most people will maybe just drop out. If you really believe in something and you keep going at it, as long as it isn't 14th century dormice, and anybody listening who has got a connection to stuffed rodents, I'm very sorry. But, it is that thing that it won't happen immediately, no matter what you see about these bloggers and influencers. And also we're on a cusp now where people are getting a little bit sick of influencers and YouTubers and podcasters and everything else.
No, you're spot on. It does take time, and that's why you have to really believe in it. You have to have that passion there, because there are days when things go really, really well and you think you're winning at life and everything falls into place. And there are other days when you work really hard on a bit of social media content and it flops, or you go to a show and it's rained and no one comes. And it's that motivation, it's that drive and that passion that's what keeps you coming back for more. And knowing that you're in it for the long haul, that it's a marathon, not a sprint, is really, really useful.
A lot of people will go, yeah, well, it's okay for the ladies doing ceramics in Stoke-on-Trent. I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, by the way, so that's the God's own country. And you might think, oh, well, they had it easy, or they obviously, I can't possibly do this. So a lot of people think, well, the cards are stacked against them. And then I suppose the other thing is that if you are in a situation where suddenly, your dream business is taking off, then you suddenly think, should I really be here? I mean, am I going to get rumbled? I mean, there's an awful lot of imposter syndrome, and B, walking it like you talk it, because, we may all have this aura of we know what we're doing, but as the saying goes, once we get to adults, we realize that we are all winging it.
We are to a degree, completely. Most days I think things happen and I think I have no idea what I'm doing here. But I always think, if you haven't lied to get there, how are you an imposter? So if I told you I was a brain surgeon, I'm not a brain surgeon, and I walked into a surgery, I would 100% be an imposter in there, and it would be really bad. It would be like Catch Me If You Can, but probably worse. But if you haven't lied to get there, you can't be an imposter. And I've kind of reframed that feeling now to when I feel like, oh God, should I be here? I think this is great. It means I'm pushing my comfort zone. It means I'm trying new things. It means I'm growing and expanding. And if we always try and push our comfort zone, but based on a foundation of stuff we know, we grow and we expand. And then, our imposter syndrome retreats. And also, if you do some reading on it, the most incredible people have got imposter syndrome. So you're not alone. It's a thing that means you're trying.
The other thing, of course, is always be open to new ideas. Don't think you've got it. I mean, the worst thing I think you could possibly do, and we see this with perhaps with the businesses that people are walking away from because they got institutionalized, they're stayed, their ideas aren't coming through. Just because, we'll get away from the dormice in the 14th century, but just because your widget has become, has become the widget for the Northeast and et cetera, it doesn't mean at that point that you should you should be in your comfort zone. And congratulations and kudos to getting there. But you should always be humble. You should always be learning. You should always, because otherwise you will find yourself, staring down as your dream becomes a nightmare, as the Hallmark card would go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to keep learning because stuff moves so quickly. I mean, I do an awful lot with social media, and the speed that changes is insane. You feel you've put some content out, you've done a really great reel, and the next day it flops. You've got to keep learning. Stuff is coming on, AI is coming through. And also, we do find that really great ideas do get a paid homage to by other brands. And you don't want to that's your only idea. You want to be innovating and developing.
Yeah, the other thing is, of course, you've got to be careful because I have a side hustle. Let's not even go there. And it's not because I'm wearing my Gnome hat. It's not Know Me fans. So just in case you know, but and I put on reels for the news blog I do in the whole bit. And I had a cat. So I put the cat on the reel. And of course, what happens with the cat on the reel? It goes mad. It goes mad. I mean, the whole place, So, and then you think, okay, but it just goes to show that you're carefully crafted with buzzwords and whatever words, and you're targeting this business, and the market. And you think that will appeal to this client and that client. You're giving an incisive look at the world of property from a Marbella perspective. What could possibly go wrong? 3 likes. Picture of 50 Shades, my old cat. Yeah, 70,000 likes. I mean, so the thing is, again, you don't, I mean, I'm not saying obviously put a cat on everything that you do, but you have to, okay, Rhea, then do put a cat on everything you do. Come on.
No, you're right. There are these little things that make something go viral, and cats, dogs, animals doing ridiculous things is well up in that. But then I think you have to look and think, well, are those customers? So if you go viral, you're not just going to your target audience, you go beyond that. And that can be great in some ways to get more reach. It can also kind of get the trolls out of their caves. So it's a bit of a tricky one. You're getting the reach, but is it the right reach? Here's
an interesting one. Customer service. I know it might sound really, really stupid because we are all consumers, and therefore, if you're producing something that people are going to buy, you would think that's a given. But you'd be kind of amazed about how. Do you think people are naturally shy not to actually converse and get engaged? Because if you build customer loyalty or people follow you or people think they have an emotional investment with you or your brand or your product, they will stay with you. Even if you have a misstep, let's not say we have a muck-up, but a misstep, there's a product you bring out that doesn't sell, maybe, your selection of double-ended mugs doesn't work or something like that for the ceramicist, for example. But they go, okay, well, it's not too big on that one, but let's see what next you've got. And if you can build that connection and conversation with your client base, with your whatever, then they will stick with you because they feel that they're invested, and that's an important thing.
Hugely important. The value of community, particularly in the world we live in today, can't be underestimated. I mean, some brands, again, in the book, I talk about snag tights. Brie Reed is just a force of nature.
Okay, now just what look at me. I'm a 50-something-year-old man. What are snag tights without getting me thrown off the air? And of course, I don't know. I live alone. I don't know I have cats. What are snag tights?
Well, they started off as just snag tights, but now they've expanded. And basically, it's this amazingly inclusive collection that was started because the founder was walking in Edinburgh and her tights started falling down. And she got to the point where she had to take her tights off in a city and thought, this is ridiculous. Started speaking to her friends. Everyone had got problems with tights. So she spent huge amounts of time making this collection of tights that actually fitted and has got this community of people because now they've gone into denim, other underwear, all sorts. But her group of snaglets are passionate.
Snaglets. I like it. I'm with you on that one.
But she's built this community of people that not only support what she does, are so supportive, but they help develop the products. Like, what do you want? How can we make that for you? They test things with their customers. So it's a loyalty and it's cheerleading, but they're actually part of the brand, which is great from a loyalty point of view, but also great because you know what they want.
How, I mean, you speak to people like the lady behind Snag Tykes, like the ceramicist, whatever. You kind of feel that people who've made a success, I mean, this is old thinking, they won't want to talk about that. You know, they won't want to let you into the secrets, but actually you will find that a lot of people are really happy to give you advice, even if you're in the same kind of business, because if they are fully functioning human beings, nobody really wants to see anybody else fail unless you're a complete sort of Brian Cox in Succession sort of character. So therefore, you know, people are happy to speak to you. But if you are thinking of embarking on something, I'm not going to go American and get a mentor, but, you know, just get some advice from people at the top rather than your mates, because your mates are always going to say, yeah, do it, dormice, the way of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Find people who are successful. And the great thing is now with podcasts and stuff, you don't even have to be paying for their advice. You can listen for free. YouTube is amazing. There are some fabulous videos on there from people who are really at the top of their game that just start to give you little bits of information, or reach out. I mean, I was so lucky with the people in the book. I think I've got maybe 16, 17 different people I interviewed from all over the world. Okay, don't get me wrong, I was ghosted and ignored a lot, not by these people, but I didn't need them all to work. And the people that I did speak to are the best of the best, and I'm thrilled.
That's why we've been speaking about a little bit about mainly with starting your own business. If I have my business, it is, as I've said, it's very easy to get maybe complacent or think, you know, in the words of the Bob Geldof autobiography, is that it? So, you know, you've got this far. You've got stage one in, let's really show my age, in the Donkey Kong levels. Okay, you got to level. Yeah, thank you. You've got to that stage. As we said before, if you're looking for something to bring you, you know, that to, I suppose, is it reinforcement? Is it rebooting? I mean, because it's not just about startups.
No, absolutely. Any stage you're at, you'll want to be doing the next thing. And sometimes we start our journey and think, right, we're going to do this thing. And either halfway along the journey, we think, you know what, there's a new opportunity here, or I'm not loving this as much as I thought I would. It is absolutely okay to change your goal. It is a great idea to change your goal, because if you've learned new things and that's changed your opinion, it'll be mad not to change your goal. It'll be mad not to reassess. And the thing is, when you get to, as you say, level 1, you might think, okay, well, what's level 2 look like? And what am I going to do to get there? And every time we upscale, we think of new things. I mean, not that many years ago, I'd have thought it was mad to have a book out with Bloomsbury. I mean, mad. But when you get to that level, and then you think, you know what, maybe it is possible. And then you can start to think, well, how am I going to do it? And it's exactly the same with the business. You get to one point that when you started, you wouldn't have believed was possible. But from that platform, what can you do next?
Do you find, here's the thing, celebrate the little bits on the way, on the journey. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, you know, because, you know, as a journalist as well, we're all bad writers, and you're thinking, God. But when you see Bloomsbury pop up in your inbox, you must have a little smile on your face on that one.
A smile and a little bit, you know, nauseous. Yeah. I remember I got this email saying, yeah, we'd like to take your book. And I went, no. It was that sort of, I mean, they're genuinely such a great group. And I mean, my kids think I'm a hero because they think J.K. Rowling. I mean, we're slightly different. Yeah. But I'm running with it because, you know, they're 9. Yeah. But then isn't that a really great example of what's possible? Also putting yourself out there. Yeah. You've got to put yourself out there. You will get kicked down a lot, but you have to put yourself out there.
Now, right, kids, if you'll pardon the expression, you said you got 9-year-olds, yeah?
Yeah, twin boys.
Blimey, I'm saluting you at that. Right, so here's the thing, right? Because a very good friend of mine, really good friend of mine, who is brilliant. She said that she is turning a certain landmark age, and she went and did an Open University course in criminal sociology. Okay, so criminal psychology. Yeah, exactly. In her late 40s, right? At which point people are going, oh well, I can't possibly do anything else because, yeah. But this has been her passion, and for the Open University, which obviously in my day was staying up late until God knows what time or watching it when the normal program had finished on BBC Two. That dates me. But they get sent her a list of questions. I mean, obviously, she had to be able to write and the whole thing and show an interest. And then they said, you know, how do you structure your day? Do you do this? They give a question. And she realized that as a working mother of 2 children, she had actually got a skill set that she hadn't studied for, but she had, because she knew what should go where at what time. And that is a skill. And as for the twin 9-year-old boys, you're nodding your head all the way through this, Rhea. But you may, as a if I want to do a startup or whatever, you might think you don't have the skill set, but yet you do because of what you actually do without knowing it.
Yes, massive skill set. We've all got so many more transferable skills anyway. Whatever job you're in, whatever you want to do, the chances are you will have got things to get there. And just in your day-to-day life, managing children, especially feisty ones, is hard. Managing the school WhatsApp, oh my God, that's insane. Learning to bite your tongue and take a breath when someone is having a meltdown about something and you think, really? There are so many skills people have that are so transferable to whatever they want to do. Business
negotiation and the school mums WhatsApp group. How's that?
Oh, God. Business negotiation is a walk in the park compared to that group. It's brutal.
What are you hoping that people are going to take from You've Got This?
I think, well, I'm lucky. My husband proofread the book, and he won't mind me saying this, but he's severely dyslexic, so he's read like 3 books in his life properly. He listens to them. From the book, he used to work in outdoor education, and then he changed his career, and we had children and life. Since reading the book, he's kind of thought back about what he really wanted to achieve, and he's really close. I think in May, he's taking his mountain leader assessment, which is a huge thing in the outdoors. He never believed that was possible. He read the book and thought, you know what? I could actually do this. If I look at that goal, if I reverse engineer it, and he's on his way to achieving that, which is huge. So what I want people to do is not become mountain leaders, because I don't really like the cold outdoors like that. But so you do you, but look at the book, read the book, understand how to plot that goal correctly, make it specific, make it work for you, and overcome those blocks, and just shine. Just shine like you can.
And just remember, I'm just not saying this is in your thought process, but if should your beloved get that mountain leader course, that means he takes a lot of time out there, and you'll have hyperactive 9-year-old twin boys going with their father, allowing you more space to just be you, Rhea.
You get me. You get me more than most people do.
If people want to find you online, Rhea, please tell me that you're on the socials. Where can we find you?
I'm Rhea Freeman, which is RHEA Freeman, PR on Instagram, or just Rhea Freeman on Twitter, and Rhea Freeman on LinkedIn.
And the book is called You've Got This, How to Supercharge Your Business and Conquer Your Goals. You can order it via our own virtual bookstore, and you can listen to this again on our catch-up service as well. Rhea, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you this morning. Have a great rest of your day.
And you, thank you so much.